So, what is better? Is low fat better or is low carb better for weight loss? This, trust me, is an age-old question. Okay? Literally wars have been fought over this question on Twitter, on Reddit, on Instagram, on Facebook, on all the social media platforms. People just get together, and if anyone triggers or talks about his diet being better than someone other's diet, saying like, low fat is better than low carb, or ketogenic diet is better than all the other diets out there, literally every single person in the nutrition industry gathers around that thread and starts arguing about which is better and which is worse. Frankly speaking, nobody really knows what is the best option here. But if we were to talk about the science really says that both of the diet are equally going to perform in a laboratory setting. Low fat is going to cause the same amount of weight loss as low carb. Low fat is going to make you the same amount of healthy as low carbohydrate diet. But this possibly cannot be a that diet stories video if the answer is going to be answered in like 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so like get ready for a sciencey detailed video. Stay tuned and watch until the end, and make sure to subscribe. Okay, many of you people I have observed quit in the last 1 minute and don't subscribe to the channel. So I'm going to tell you first this. I'm going to tell you this first. Subscribe to the channel, please. Now let's get on with the video. Right, so there are majorly 3 things with this. If I were to answer this question, the answer would be of a 3-part answer. Okay, the number 1 is you really need to understand the importance of what really matters in this entire scenario. Okay, so people fight over low carb is better or low fat is better, or like low protein, high protein is better, so on and so forth. And 3 meals a day is better, 6 meals a day is better, 10 meals a day is better, apple cider vinegar is better, and like there are so many things, so many theories, and just a lot of different kinds of diets and approaches to weight loss and health that many people miss out on the very basics that literally every study out there has proven until now, and that is calories. Okay, if you don't know about calories and the importance of calories, then there is no point in talking about low fat, low carb, and whatever approach that you want to adopt. Okay, if there is one thing that has been clearly proven by now, then that is calories is the ultimate end all be all. If you want to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. That means you need to eat less calories than you burn. All of us burn certain amounts of calories every single day, whether you are exercising or not, walking or not, whatever you're doing. Even as I'm sitting here and talking, I'm burning calories right now. Calories is just a unit of energy. Burning calories just means burning energy. So we all burn certain amount of energy every single day, and we also eat certain amount of energy every day through food, right? So if you eat less energy than you burn, your body is going to have to tap into your fat stores, your energy stores, in order to meet the energy demand for the day. And that is how if you consistently be in a calorie deficit, you lose weight in a period of time. So if you don't know that, there is really no point talking about anything. If I were to put the entire weight loss prescription in simple words, then whatever really gets you into a calorie deficit, whatever that might be, and you can sustain it over a long period of time, is basically going to be the best option for you, the best solution for you, and that is going to make you lose weight and maintain it. Okay, you don't need, if you have found something that you can follow, be in a calorie deficit and sustain it over a long time, quit this video. You don't need to pump up your brain with just useless words and useless information. Alright, so now that it is clear that calories is really the end all be all, and whatever really puts you into calorie deficit is what really matters for you, let's move on to the second thing. And the second thing is, what are you already have been doing and what are you going to vibe with? Some people like from South Indian background, like eat a lot of rice, eat a lot of idli and dosa and all of these things, a heavily carbohydrate based diet. I have observed in my practice that if we just increase their protein a little bit and make them follow the same high carb low fat diet, they actually they actually respond very awesome to it, and they lose weight, they get healthy, and they are able to sustain it over a long period of time, because that is something A, they already have been doing, and B, they kind of, they don't really feel bad on it. They don't really feel any problem in the entire low fat diet. Now, just what you have been already doing isn't the only variable in deciding what is going to work for you. There are many variables. So many things like, how your gut health is one of the factors that is going to decide whether low fat or low carb is better for you. Many people really feel awesome high energy on a low carbohydrate diet than they feel low fat diet. Many people feel awesome high energy on low fat diet, don't feel as good on low carbohydrate diet. So you need to find what works for you. But there are couple things that have been observed in general public, and that is, if you are an overweight insulin resistant person, low carb is kind of going to work a little better than low fat diets. Now studies, high standard studies don't really prove this connection. This might be my bias, but I have really observed that when you go on a low carbohydrate diet instead of a low fat diet, then you kind of feel less hungry, you don't have many cravings for junk food and things like that, and it's very easy for you to be in a calorie deficit, which is, as I have been always talking about, the biggest dragon that we have to slay in the room. When you are in a calorie deficit, you get hungry, you get cravings, because your body is telling you, screaming at you to eat more food, and because of that it gets very uncomfortable to always resist that hunger or always resist the cravings that you're getting. So it's always best if you can just eliminate those things completely and comfortably be in a calorie deficit. This is why my bias is always towards a low carbohydrate diet than a low fat diet. But again, it's not that simple, it's not that black and white that just because I have said low carb is better, you need to do low carb and not low fat. Some people, even though they don't feel hungry on a low carbohydrate diet, they live in a culture, they live in a family and friends and in a setting where low carb is just not sustainable for them. They just absolutely love carbohydrate rich foods. They absolutely love their idli or dosa or whatever they are eating. They so love eating their fruits every day. They love eating rice every day. And so you're getting what I'm saying, right? It's not just what the science says, it's also what your body says, what your mind says, what your heart says, what your friends say, what your family say. You need to balance out what has been proven to work better and what has been what is the best setting that you are going to operate it in your culture and in your environment that you're living in. So environment is one of the things that is really very big that people really don't consider. So my bias is towards a low carbohydrate diet and then a low fat diet. I put majority of my clients on a low carbohydrate diet initially, then a low fat diet. But again, it completely depends on where you're coming from and what is working for you. If low fat works for you, fine, do that, it's awesome. And to conclude this whole video with the third thing that I really want to tell you, this is a question that many people have, that is it really necessary for you to be low anything? Can't you just have a balanced diet of protein, carbohydrates and fats, call it a day, end all of these wars and just finally tell us really what works and if a balanced diet is going to work? Because many people in the nutrition and fitness industry talk about having a balanced diet, especially the people coming from dietetics and registered dietitians kind of side. And yeah, balanced diet does really work. Balanced diet is awesome, but in my opinion, cutting back on something is going to be way better for you to manage your appetite, manage your hunger, than having a balanced diet. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm going to resist the temptation of doing that, but just going to try to tell you quickly what I mean by always trying to be low something than having a balanced diet, at least when you're trying to lose weight. So what happens is your brain and your body is actually designed in a way, it's actually evolved in a way to acquire and want to eat all of the three nutrients, your protein, your carbohydrates and your fats, right? And you get hunger and appetite and cravings for all of these nutrients. So what happens is when you cut back on a macronutrient, we cannot cut back on protein because protein is so very crucial for our health and for healthy weight loss, but we can cut back on carbohydrate or fats. So when you cut back on either of these two things, it kind of makes your whole circuitry of managing energy kind of inefficient, and that is exactly what we want when we are trying to lose weight. Because your body is very efficient in managing energy input and output, it is keeping you fat. When you go low fat or when you go low carb, you remove an entire macronutrient that really affects your appetite and your hunger regulation. That leads to inefficient energy management, and that leads to decreased weight or weight loss, and just in general because of that weight loss, a better health. People also ask, is this healthier in long term, being on a low fat diet or being on a low carb diet? Absolutely, it is healthy for you to do it. The only aspect that you need to really keep an eye on is your mental health, right? So many people go on these low carbohydrate diets, ketogenic diets, and they think that the moment they will start eating carbohydrates, they will start putting on weight, and this really puts them in a bad place mentally. And if this is the case with you, then you really need to prioritize everything. You have all of it flipped backwards. Mental health first, then you go on about doing whatever you want to do with your body and with your physique and your physical health and things like that. Okay, mental health is always first. So those three things. Number one is understanding of how calories work, and it is the most important thing. Number two is just finding what works for you on so many variables, your culture, your family, your friends, the environment that you brought up in, your own health, on which setting you feel best on, and things like that. And the third is trying to be low something instead of having a balanced diet for it to work and to work in a better way. So that is it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you learned anything from this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, share, do all of those things, and I'll see you in the next video.